Most people in their 60s have gait compensation phenomena. This compensation mechanism is continuously weakening their physiological reserve functions. Alarmingly, many elderly people are unconsciously accelerating the degradation of their body functions through their daily behavior patterns. And the core cause is deeply rooted in their basic movement patterns. As the most primitive instinctive movement of human beings, the training value of walking has long been seriously underestimated by the health academic community. If it is told that there is a certain biomechanical adjustment plan that can systematically slow down the aging process, geometrically increase the lower limb strength through action optimization, help you maintain life autonomy, reduce the risk of sports injuries, and restore a youthful physiological function, clinical data confirm that a specific group has mastered this technology, and its intervention effects is of breakthrough significance. The comparative experiment shows two groups of subjects. Experimental Group A 62-year-old subject, shows a typical aging gait. They need to rely on handrails to support when going up and down stairs. The recruitment efficiency of the lower limb muscle groups is low. There is a significant shift in the center of gravity, and the exercise energy consumption is abnormally high. Experimental Group B, subjects of the same age show a functional gait. They can complete a 5-kilometer hike and intermittent jogging. The exercise economy reaches 85% of that of the young group. This difference is not due to kinetic advantages or differences in exercise frequency. Its essence lies in the reconstruction of the neuromuscular control mode. Traditional cognitive misunderstandings believe that the key to maintaining muscle strength in the elderly is to increase the walking frequency and the number of steps. The latest research in sports human science overturns this view. Effective intervention does not lie in the superposition of exercise volume, but in the optimization of exercise quality. By adjusting the force output at specific phases in the gait cycle, the explosive force of the lower limbs can be increased by 127, and the static balanceability can be improved by 89. This neural adaptation effect is universal and does not require high-intensity training or expensive equipment. The key lies in the biomechanical deconstruction of the existing walking mode. Before denying this theory, please do a self-test. Does the choice of footwear affect the plantar pressure distribution? Do you experience compensatory knee pain after walking? Does your daily gait strengthen the wrong kinetic chain? These movement patterns that have been ignored for decades are causing selective muscle fiber atrophy through adaptive changes in the myofascial chain. Through gait retraining technology, the proprioceptive system can be reactivated, and the correct recruitment order of motor units can be established. Clinical data show that after 6 weeks of intervention, the 6-minute walking test score of the subjects increased by 41, and the Berg balance scale improved by 32 percentage points. This difference in exercise benefits will directly affect the autonomy of life in old age. This program is not exclusive to competitive sports. It is applicable to all ordinary people who hope to maintain functional independence and resist age-related muscle strength loss. Its principle is based on the theory of motor neuroplasticity and has been verified to be effective through double-blind controlled experiments. The core problem lies in execution compliance. Currently, two major cognitive misunderstandings need to be dispelled. 1. The decline of lower limb strength is an inevitable physiological phenomenon. 2. Resistance training is the only intervention method. The latest research confirms that through the biomechanical optimization of the walking mode, the recruitment of type I muscle fibers can be activated, and the storage efficiency of the elastic potential energy of the Achilles tendon can be improved. This natural anti-aging mechanism is being redefined by the sports medicine community. What if what is often regarded as an irreversible physiological decline marker is just a pseudo-proposition caused by cognitive biases? What if the essence of the loss of lower limb muscle strength in most people is not an inevitable law of the biological clock, but stems from the compensatory mechanism of movement patterns? What if the daily repeated walking behavior can be transformed into muscle group strengthening training rather than a consumptive activity? Let's deconstruct the 3 major cognitive misunderstandings that limit human movement potential. The first and most harmful mindset regarding muscle strength loss after the age of 60 is fatalism. This negative perception has a 12-fold harm. It not only violates the principles of exercise physiology but also forms a restrictive psychological. Experimental data show that in the group with this concept for a long time, the compliance with active exercise intervention is reduced by 47. and the annual loss rate of the cross-sectional area of muscle fibers increases by 2.3 times. Sports medicine research confirms that although the basal metabolic rate decreases with age, the plasticity of type I muscle fibers remains throughout life. Through the optimization of the neuromuscular control mode, a 70-year-old group can still achieve a 12 increase in peak torque. The key lies in establishing the correct proprioceptive feedback mechanism. The second, cognitive bias. Walking exercise is sufficient to maintain the activity of the lower limb muscle groups. Although it has a relative advantage compared to a sedentary lifestyle, the activation rate of fast muscle fibers in the conventional gait pattern is only 1822 of that of resistance training. More seriously, the wrong gait pattern is leading to disuse atrophy of selective muscle groups. Clinical gait analysis shows that 63% of the elderly have a shortened stride syndrome, accompanied by a 28% reduction in the dorsiflex tunnel angle of the foot and ankle and a 34% reduction in the hip extension range. These compensatory movement patterns led to a 1 cm reduction in the cross-sectional area of the hamstring muscles and a 15% decrease in the balance function assessment score each year. Biomechanical research reveals that at the moment of each plantar contact with the ground, there is a 0.3-second golden window period for muscle group recruitments. Under the active control mode, the electromagnetic signal intensity of the soleus muscle increases by 2.7 times, while the passive dragging gait will lead to an inhibitory effect on the tibialis anterior muscle. Excitingly, biomechanical research confirms that through the optimization of gait cycle parameters, the training benefit of a single step can be increased by 300. Specific intervention strategies include: 1. Activate the core stabilizing muscle groups, the contraction degree of the transverse abdominal muscle 30. 2. Increase the stride to 45-50 of the height. 3. Construct a three-dimensional foot and ankle movement chain dorsiflex tunnel plantar flexion pronation supination. The exercise adaptation theory shows that 6. Optimized gait training steps per day are equivalent to completing 18 sets of bodyweight squats. Continuing for 6 weeks can increase the concentric contraction force of the quadriceps femoris by 22 and improve the knee flexion angle by 18. This neuromuscular adaptation effect directly reduces the fall risk factor by 41. The key turning point lies in transforming mechanical displacement into functional training. Each full contact with the ground is regarded as an eccentric contraction training. The mid-stance phase is transformed into anisometric contraction maintenance. The push-off phase strengthens the concentric contraction efficiency. Through the three-phase decomposition training of the gait, the walking energy consumption can be reduced by 15, and the muscle group activation efficiency can be increased by 200. This innovation in the exercise mode does not require professional equipment or additional time investment. Only the establishment of action awareness and biomechanical cognition is needed. Through 3D movement plane control, daily movement can be transformed into anti-aging training. Sports physiologists suggest that before implementing a Gait re-education program, a basic movement pattern assessment needs to be completed, including plantar pressure distribution detection, joint range of motion screening, and muscle group activation timing analysis. Through personalized parameter adjustments, the walking training benefit can be maximized. Now that you have mastered the scientific key to reconstructing the movement pattern, it's time to transform every walk into strength reserve and every displacement into an anti-aging opportunity. The initiative of muscle remodeling lies in your movement, awareness, and action choices. Your foot propulsion mode, the ground reaction force conduction path, and the dynamic balance mechanism jointly determine the neural recruitment efficiency of the lower limb muscle groups. This neuromuscular activation state is directly related to the maintenance of the functional reserve of the motor system. The movement patterns of most people show the characteristics of passive displacement, relying on inertia to drive the center of gravity transfer and lacking an autonomous muscle group activation strategy. This is the starting point of functional decline. When each gait cycle fails to form an effective force stimulus, the motor units will gradually degenerate following the use it or lose it rule. If the nerve-driven gait mode is adopted and the target muscle groups are actively activated in each link of the action chain, daily walking can be transformed into efficient resistance training. The dynamic gait control technology used by professional athletes is precisely based on this biomechanical principle. Its essence is to establish a spatiomotor accurate muscle activation sequence to ensure that each gait phase produces a sustained effect. A comparative experiment shows that the difference between regular walking and dynamic gait training is like the essential difference between a standard deadlift and casual handling. The former generates a 23 eccentric contraction load on the quadriceps femoris, while the latter only achieves a 9 electromagnetic signal activation. This difference directly leads to a cumulative difference of 3.2 in the annual cross-sectional area of muscle fibers. Sports medicine research reveals that the use of nerve-driven gait can increase the muscle group activation degree by 220. The core technologies include 1. Co-contraction of the trunk stabilizing muscle groups intrademeral and pressure increases by 30 mHg. 2. The gluteus maximus contracts actively in the mid-stance phase, hip extension arc increases by 1.8 times. 3. Strengthen the grip of the toes during the plantar flexion push-off phase. The energy storage efficiency of the Achilles tendon increases by 45. This three-dimensional gait control technology not only enhances the reserve of lower limb explosive force but also significantly improves the linkage stability of the ankle, knee, and hip joints. Epidemiological data show that in the elderly group implementing this technology, the annual fall incidence rate is reduced by 58. And the risk of hip fracture is decreased by 72. Its anti-aging mechanisms include 1. Re-education of the proprioceptive system. 2. Optimization of the motor unit recruitment pattern. 3. Enhancement of tendon elastic potential energy storage. Clinical gait analysis confirms that after 6 weeks of continuous training, the dynamic balance index is improved by 41. And the knee flexion angle during the heel contact period in the gait cycle is increased by 18. Biomechanical research confirms that the elderly group using nerve-driven gait retains 37 more type I muscle fibers than the regular walking group. This difference directly determines the autonomy of life in old age. Each precise plantar flexion push-off action is equivalent to completing 0.3 body weight calf raises. Over time, a significant anti-aging effect is formed. Sports physiologists propose that the key to transforming displacement behavior into strength training lies in establishing a gait strength neural connection. Each support phase is regarded as a single-legged deadlift training, and each center of gravity transfer simulates a lateral lunge action. The recruitment of motor units is strengthened through conscious drive. Data from the latest sports medicine journals show that after 12 weeks of using dynamic gait control technology, the 6-minute walking test score of the subjects increased by 20. The gait symmetry index was optimized by 22, and the deviation range of the plantar pressure center was reduced by 41. These changes reduced the basal metabolic consumption by 15 and reversed the functional physical age by 4.2 years. Now, let's decode the operation elements of this revolutionary gait technology. 1. During the plantar flexion push-off phase, prolong the toe grip time by 0.2 seconds. 2. In the mid-stance phase, actively contract the gluteus medius to maintain coronal plane stability. 3. At the initial swing phase, strengthen the concentric contraction efficiency of the iliopsoas. 4. During the heel contact period, control the eccentric contraction speed of the tibialis anterior muscle. This gait retraining program transforms daily commuting into an anti-aging training ground. Each gait cycle is a battle against disused muscle strength loss. The choice lies in whether you activate the biomechanical wisdom of your body through conscious drive and precise control of each action chain. Rewrite the aging process into a journey of functional enhancement. For golden rules for reshaping a walking pattern, many people consider walking as an inborn instinct, a natural response that doesn't require deliberate practice. In fact, the truly scientific way of walking contains the secrets of movement. When you master these tricks, you can instantly activate the deep muscle groups, improve body coordination, and continuously strengthen the lower limb functions during daily walking. The essential difference between mechanical movement and efficient walking is reflected in 4 core elements: plantar first propulsion, knee lift striding, rolling foot to ground contact, and core cluster coordination. These seemingly subtle adjustments will completely revolutionize your movement pattern, transforming ordinary walking into a natural training for maintaining physical function and mobility. A common mistake among most walkers is using a sliding gait, relying only on the basic muscle groups of the lower limbs to complete the movement. The long-term formed inert movement pattern can lead to muscle strength decline, decreased joint flexibility, and weak end balance. The key to improvement lies in the force generation pattern. abandoning the inertial action of dragging the front foot. Skilled walkers use the explosive force of the back of the sole to propel and complete the stride transition through the thrust of the toes. This delicate force conversion can activate the triceps surae, the posterior thigh muscle group, and the gluteus maximus to work together. Continuous exercise can significantly enhance muscle endurance and explosive force. Practice essentials: focus on the details of the force when the foot leaves the ground. Avoid simply swinging the leg forward. Instead, actively apply the propulsive force through the metatarsal area. This way of generating force can from a more efficient gait, ensuring that the lower limb muscle groups undergo functional training rather than just simple displacements. Imagine pushing the ground away with each stride. This change in awareness will deeply optimize the muscle recruitment pattern. The advanced technique of knee lift striding. Most people use a low flat gait with insufficient muscle group participation. By moderately increasing the knee flexion amplitude, the anterior thigh muscle group, especially the deep fibers of the quadriceps femoris, can be forced to activate, significantly improving walking efficiency. Strong quadriceps femoris are crucial for maintaining dynamic balance, preventing accidental falls, and supporting complex movements. Training method: try a controlled knee lift action when walking. There is no need to reach the height of a goose step, but the knee bending angle should be kept higher than that of the daily gait. At this time, you can clearly feel the change in tension in the front of the thigh. Long-term adherence will strengthen the explosive force of the lower limbs, significantly improve the obstacle crossing ability, and make climbing stairs, walking on slopes, and long-distance walking easier. The third element of efficient walking: rolling foot to ground contacts. Common mistakes include slapping the ground with the whole sole or wrongly landing on the front foot first. This not only reduces muscle group participation but also increases the risk of imbalance and joint strain. Professional walkers use a 3-stage foot-to-ground contact mode: precise heel landing, smooth transition of the center of gravity, elastic toe off. This wavy movement can improve neuromuscular control, enhance movement coordination, and effectively buffer the impact force on the joints. Training steps: slow down the walking frequency and focus on the movement trajectory of the foot. Ensure that the heel touches the ground first, then naturally transition to the arch support stage. And finally, complete the propulsion through the mid-thigh or sophal angel joints. This controlled training can optimize the lower limb kinetic chain and form a stable and efficient gait pattern. The ultimate tip: posture optimization and core cluster coordination. Walking is not an isolated movement of the lower limbs. The coordinated operation of the full body muscle groups determines the exercise efficiency. Posture revolution: unlock the youth code of walking. The walking postures of most people hide potential hazards, such as forward tilted spine, internal rotation of the scapula, and inactivation of the core muscle groups. This postural pattern not only increases energy consumption but also weakens the deep muscle groups that maintain dynamic stability. The key to correction lies in reconstructing the mechanical conduction chain, activating the core cluster, and keeping the shoulders stretched without losing tension. When the transverse abdominal muscle and the multi-FIDS muscle are synergistically activated, they will build a natural biomechanical support, effectively dispersing the load on the lower limbs, making walking have stronger propulsion and stability. This strong core system can not only optimize balance performance but also reduce the risk of falling by 47. Simple posture calibration method: imagine an elastic band hanging from the top of the skull and pulling upward. This image can naturally correct the physiological curvature of the spine and achieve accurate alignment of the skeletal system. During walking, maintain a mild contraction of the abdominal wall. This seemingly subtle muscle activation will bring a significant improvement in stability. When the 4 elements work together perfectly, walking will be upgraded to functional training. Each foot-to-ground contact is an opportunity to strengthen muscle strength, continuously stimulate the neuromuscular system, improve proprioception, and build an anti-aging barrier for the body. Immediately start your efficient walking plan. Start with a 500-meter focused training. Feel the precise recruitment of the deep muscle groups. Experience the kinetic energy conversion of the steps, and perceive the force conduction on the sole. It's not about the distance, but about the quality of the movement. The transformation effect will naturally appear over time. The charm of scientific walking lies not only in the movement mechanism but also in the visible anti-aging effects. This is not a short-term popular fitness concept, but a regeneration plan verified by thousands of people. Countless elderly people have regained youthful energy through the system. Those who were once struck by muscle strength decline, lack of energy, and movement anxiety now walk with the radiance of athletes. Typical case witness, Ms. Lynn, 62 years old, was once strapped by walking phobia. Just 3 intersections made her out of breath. Her lower limbs ached all night after daily shopping. She thought this was an inevitable part of aging. After coming into contact with the biomechanical walking method, her walking state was completely renewed. Active plantar propulsion, precise knee control, and stable core coordination. In just 21 days, walking changed from a burden to a source of energy. Now I actively plan my walking route. Walking an extra 3.0 steps every day makes me feel refreshed, she said, showing the exercise data on her phone, with the radiance of a young person in her eyes. Mr. Sheen, 65 years old, used to be a fitness enthusiast, but the years had made his sports performance decline year by year. Climbing stairs became strenuous, and his daily walking speed decreased by 30. After mastering the dynamic walking skills, his mobility has undergone an amazing reversal. I thought the degradation of my sports ability was irreversible. Now that I walk in the right way, it's as if I've reconnected to my body's energy system, he said. His 3 times a week mountain path training makes many young hikers feel inferior. The story of Professor Zhang, 68 years old, is even more inspiring. After hip replacement surgery, he was once judged to need a walking aid for life. Through systematic walking reconstruction training, he can now not only walk independently but also resume playing golf. This is a more magical regeneration therapy than surgery. It has allowed me to regain a high-quality life, he said. His rehabilitation case has been included in sports medicine textbooks. These vivid examples reveal that the human body contains amazing compensatory potential. As long as you master the correct movement pattern, you can restart your body functions at any age. Walking is no longer just simple displacement but has become a biological weapon against aging. Every step from today is laying the foundation for your energetic future. Medical authorities once asserted that he was facing an irreversible physiological process. The decrease in muscle mass would lead to the continuous degradation of lower limb functions, and he was advised to adapt to a gradually disabled life state. But this stubborn elderly person chose a different path, refusing to bow to the so-called natural law. He chose to activate the compensatory potential of the human body and integrate the biomechanical walking method into his daily life. 3 months later, a miracle appeared. The tremors when standing completely disappeared, and he still had plenty of energy after walking 2 kilometers continuously. Most importantly, he used his actions to rewrite the medical prediction. Experts said my condition would continue to deteriorate. Now my muscle strength has returned to the level of 5 years ago. These transformations are not special cases but verify the universality of neuromuscular remodeling. Imagine that you become the next protagonist of a counterattack, breaking through the shackles of muscle strength decline, eliminating the troubles of slow movements, and regaining the joy of walking briskly. The beauty of this plan lies in that it doesn't require professional equipment or excessive training. The body's own biological engine, combined with precise action coding, can release amazing potential. You have mastered the scientific principles, witnessed real cases, and learned the systematic techniques. Now there is only a crucial choice left. Are you willing to reshape the quality of your life with walking? Evidence-based exercise prescription. No gym membership or professional equipment is required. Only 600 seconds of focused training per day is needed to activate the lower limb kinetic chain and transform daily walking into an anti-aging weapon. This progressive plan is specially designed for muscle strength reconstruction. Through continuous neural adaptation, you can perceive the transformation of the body into weeks. Basic construction period day 17. 100 dynamic preparation stage. Walk at a natural walking frequency for adaptive walking. The focus is on awakening the sports perception. Activate the diaphragm with abdominal breathing. Relax the swing of the upper limbs to create a hydrodynamic advantage. This stage aims to optimize blood circulation and pave the physiological foundation for the activation of deep muscle groups. Propulsive push-off special training. Concentrate on strengthening the posterior kinetic chain. Transform the gait cycle into strength training. Through the elastic energy storage of the arc and the explosive takeoff of the metatarsophalangeal angel joints, deeply stimulate the triceps or E complex. The gluteus maximus and the hamstring muscles work together. Imagine that the sole of the foot is catapulting forward. This neural hint can increase the electromagnetic activity by 37. Zaro knee lift activation module. Introduce the concept of dynamic resistance. Through a controlled flexion action, force the activation of the rectus femoris and the iliopsoas. Use a knee bending angle of 85 degrees to create the best mechanical load. This gait optimization can increase the walking metabolic efficiency by 22, especially suitable for improving the ability to climb stairs. Just lift the knee by 15-20 centimeters to wake up the muscle groups that are dormant in inertial walking. When you feel the continuous contraction of the lower limb muscle fibers, you have achieved the ideal training state. Minute 6-8, heel to forefoot rolling gait. Focus on the mechanical conversion of the gait. Each step follows the three-stage conduction of heel arch forefoot. Start the core muscle groups with the sinking of the diaphragm. This mode can optimize proprioceptive conduction, improve dynamic balance and action economy, and establish a precise neuromuscular control pattern. Minutes 9-10, functional gait strengthening. Restore the natural walking frequency but maintain the optimized mechanism. Continuously generate force with the forefoot and control the knee. Maintain core tension and the sole rolling pattern. Consolidate through repetition to form a motor memory, making the scientific gait integrate into daily life scenarios. When the basic movements from a conditioned reflex, you can try the following strengthening plans. Terrain resist and straining. Choose a 5-8 degree slope for forward walking. This angle can specifically strengthen the gluteus maximus and the triceps or E complex. For treadmill users, it is recommended to increase the slope by 1 every 3 minutes. For outdoor training, choose a gentle sloped terrain first. The slope change can increase the muscle fiber recruitment rate by more than 30. Progressive load plan. After adapting to the basic load, introduce a micro weight-bearing device. The recommended initial weight is 0.51 kg ankle weights. Gradually increase the weight as the muscle strength develops, but do not exceed 3 of the body weight. Focus on maintaining the biomechanical neutral position and avoid compensatory gait. Organically combined gait training with resistance exercises. Conduct functional combination training 3 times a week. Recommended action combinations: body weight squats, quadriceps femoris activation. Dynamic lunges hip joint stability. Stepped F raises ankle joint rigidity strengthening. These actions can produce a 72-hour over recovery effects, significantly improving gait quality and sports performance. Aging does not necessarily come with muscle strength loss. 10 minutes of targeted gait adjustment per day can reconstruct the lower limb kinetic chain and improve the balance confidence interval. Now start your functional training cycle. Practice this training system for 7 consecutive days, focusing on 3 core elements. 1. Forefoot propulsion mechanics. 2. Knee joint space control. 3. Core synergistic contraction. There is no need to change the walking distance or speed. The focus is on optimizing the quality of the movements. After training, please pay attention to the following physiological feedback. Improvement in single leg standing stability. Activation degree of muscle groups during stair climbing. Changes in the metabolic efficiency of daily activities. Welcome to record the body's response on the training log. If you pursue lifelong sports autonomy, it is recommended to establish a periodic training plan. Subscribe now to get the advanced training template, which includes quarterly periodic training plan, biomechanical assessment guide, suggestions for the time window of nutritional supplementation. Lower limb strength is not only the basis of sports but also the guarantee of life autonomy. The functional training journey starts at this moment. Are you ready to welcome the transformation? Immediately start the first day training and witness the awakening of your own sports potential.